Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In the resource-rich South China Sea, a new and volatile chapter is unfolding, marked by shifting alliances, rising tensions, and the ever-present shadow of global power competition. This vast expanse of water, dotted with islands and reefs, is not just a geographic feature, it is a crossroads of history, commerce, and national ambition. At the center of this unfolding drama are the Philippines and China, two nations whose destinies are increasingly intertwined by geography and circumstance. Their relationship is complex, shaped by centuries of trade, conflict and negotiation, and now tested by the high stakes of the modern era. The South China Sea is more than a body of water, it's a lifeline for global commerce. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through these shipping lanes, connecting Asia to the rest of the world. But as trade flows, so do rival claims, making this region a flashpoint for diplomatic maneuvering and military posturing. At the heart of the current tensions is a proposed Coast Guard cooperation pact between Manila and Beijing. The agreement, if realized, could help prevent dangerous encounters at sea where misunderstandings have the potential to escalate into conflict. Yet, trust remains fragile, and every negotiation is shadowed by suspicion and the memory of past confrontations. Even as these talks continue, the Philippines is not standing still. It is actively strengthening its alliances with Western powers, particularly the United States, conducting joint military exercises and reaffirming old security commitments. These moves send a clear message. Manila is determined to defend its interests, even as it seeks dialogue with Beijing. The Philippine military is undergoing significant upgrades, acquiring new hardware and technology to bolster its capabilities. At the same time, diplomatic channels remain open, with leaders meeting Western officials to discuss shared concerns and strategies. This dual approach highlights a central dilemma: how to engage with China without sacrificing sovereignty or undermining long-standing partnerships. The choices made by the Philippines are being closely watched, not just by its own people, but by the entire region and the world. In many ways, the Philippines has become a test case for how smaller nations can navigate the intensifying rivalry between Washington and Beijing, balancing economic opportunity with security concerns. The outcome of this delicate balancing act could set a powerful precedent for Southeast Asia, influencing how other countries approach their own foreign policy challenges for years to come. Regional leaders are watching closely, aware that the decisions made today will shape the future of the entire Asia-Pacific. Ultimately, the South China Sea dispute is about more than territory or resources. It is a story of sovereignty, international law, and the human cost of great power competition. For the fishermen who risk their lives in contested waters, for the diplomats working tirelessly behind the scenes, and for the millions whose futures depend on peace and stability, the stakes could not be higher. The South China Sea dispute is rooted in centuries-old claims and the lure of vast resources. China's Nine-Dash Line, first drawn in the 1940s, asserts sweeping historical rights, while the Philippines and its neighbors base their claims on international law, especially UNCLOS. This clash, history versus law, fuels the conflict over islands and reefs like the Spratlys and Scarborough Shoal. China's land reclamation and militarization have transformed the region, escalating tensions and altering the balance of power. At its core, this is a collision of worldviews, one seeking restored hierarchy, the other defending a rules-based order. In July 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague delivered a historic verdict that sent shockwaves through the region and the world. After years of legal battles and mounting tensions, the tribunal ruled decisively in favor of the Philippines, addressing one of the most contentious maritime disputes of the 21st century. The court invalidated China's sweeping Nine-Dash Line claim, which Beijing had used to assert control over vast stretches of the South China Sea. The ruling affirmed Manila's sovereign rights within its exclusive economic zone, upholding the principles of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. For the Philippines, this was more than just a legal victory. It was a moment of national pride and a validation of years of diplomatic effort. International legal experts hailed the decision as a milestone for the rule of law in global affairs, setting a precedent for how maritime disputes could be resolved peacefully. Yet, China responded with outright defiance. Beijing dismissed the tribunal's authority, refused to recognize the verdict, and instead ramped up its presence in the disputed waters. Chinese vessels continued to patrol and build on contested islands, sending a clear message that power, not legal argument, would determine the status quo. Despite gaining both legal and moral ground, the Philippines found itself unable to enforce the tribunal's decision. Its Coast Guard and Navy, outmatched by China's military might, could do little to assert control. The headlines in Manila captured a bittersweet reality. Justice had been served, but not delivered. This unresolved paradox, a landmark legal victory without the means to implement it, continues to shape Manila's foreign policy. Philippine leaders have had to navigate a complex web of diplomacy, seeking support from allies and international institutions while avoiding direct confrontation. The ignored ruling remains a central challenge for the Philippines. It has sparked protests, diplomatic campaigns, and ongoing debates about how best to defend national interests. Manila must constantly balance the assertion of its rights with the realities of regional power dynamics and the need for pragmatic engagement with China. Today, the conflict endures, defined by the stark contrast between law on paper and power at sea. The 2016 ruling stands as a symbol of hope and frustration, a reminder that in international disputes, justice is not always enough to bring about real change. Facing China's assertiveness, the Philippines has adopted a dual-track strategy: dialogue with Beijing and deeper security ties with allies. Manila pursues a Coast Guard pact with China, hoping to prevent clashes while also publicizing Chinese harassment to rally global support. The Philippines has expanded military cooperation with the US, Australia, and Japan and Canada, building a network to counterbalance China. This approach is risky. Negotiating with China while strengthening alliances invites both opportunity and backlash. Critics warn that engagement could legitimize China's presence, but Manila insists on defending its sovereignty. The Philippines walks a diplomatic tightrope, seeking peace without appearing weak. Its foreign policy is now defined by this delicate balancing act. The Philippines' new defense pact with Canada adds another layer to the region's security web. The agreement allows Canadian troops to train in the Philippines, signaling Ottawa's commitment to Indo-Pacific stability. For Manila, it's a move to diversify alliances and reduce reliance on any single partner. China sees this as part of a broader encirclement, warning against military blocs that threaten regional peace. The deal's real impact is symbolic. It shows the South China Sea dispute is now a global concern, not just a local quarrel. More outside actors are getting involved, raising the stakes for all sides. The Philippines coalition building sends a clear message: regional security is everyone's business. The Philippines' relationship with China is shaped as much by economics as by geopolitics. China is a top trading partner and investor, giving Manila reason to keep relations stable. But the West Philippine Sea holds vital resources: oil, gas, and fisheries that are crucial for Philippine livelihoods and energy security. Chinese blockades and harassment have devastated coastal communities, turning geopolitics into a daily struggle for survival. Manila is now diversifying its economic ties, seeking new partners to reduce dependence on Beijing. The cost of any deal with China is weighed against the risk of losing control over these valuable resources. For Filipino fishermen, the South China Sea conflict is personal. Their livelihoods are at stake. Chinese patrols have turned traditional fishing grounds into danger zones, fueling anger and a surge in patriotism. The government's transparency strategy, publicizing Chinese aggression, has rallied public support and made concessions politically risky. The conflict shapes national identity, politics, and even the Chinese Filipino community's sense of belonging. Military modernization is now seen as essential not just for defense but for national pride. The human toll, lost income, anxiety, wounded dignity, drives the Philippines' resolve. This is a struggle for survival, not just sovereignty. Analysts see the Philippines as a model for how middle powers can use law and alliances to resist superpower pressure. Manila's multi-pronged approach, legal action, public diplomacy, and coalition building, has drawn both praise and criticism. China views these moves as US-orchestrated containment, while Southeast Asian experts stress the Philippines' own agency. Many in the region believe a stronger response to China is necessary, but worry that engagement could be a Trojan horse for further encroachment. The Philippines' strategy is risky but seen as necessary after years of Chinese pressure. The big question: will this approach deter aggression or provoke escalation? The world is watching to see if Manila's gamble pays off. As 2025 draws to a close, the West Philippine Sea stands at a critical crossroads, its future uncertain and its waters more contested than ever before. This region, long a flashpoint in Asia, is now the center of a global storm. where the ambitions of powerful nations collide with the hopes of smaller states seeking to defend their sovereignty. The proposed Coast Guard Pact, meant to foster cooperation and stability, is instead surrounded by deep mistrust and suspicion. The Philippines, aware of the growing threats, is rapidly modernizing its military, arming its Coast Guard, and forging stronger alliances with regional and global partners. These moves are not just about defense, they are a statement of intent, a signal that the Philippines will not back down in the face of intimidation. Yet, with every patrol and every military exercise, the risk of miscalculation grows. The waters are crowded with ships from rival nations, and one wrong move, a collision, a misfired warning shot, could quickly escalate into a crisis that draws in major powers like the United States and China, sparking a conflict with consequences far beyond the region. The stakes could not be higher. This is not just a local dispute over rocks and reefs, it is a potential flashpoint for global war, with the world economy hanging in the balance. The West Philippine Sea is a vital artery for international trade, with trillions of dollars in goods passing through its waters each year. Any disruption here would send shockwaves through global markets, affecting everything from energy supplies to food security. The Philippines' strategy, building alliances, standing firm, and asserting its rights, could become a blueprint for other small nations facing coercion from larger neighbors. Its actions are being closely watched, not just in Asia, but around the world, as countries look for ways to protect their sovereignty in an increasingly uncertain world. The outcome of this struggle will shape the future of international law and order. Will the rules-based system prevail, or will might make right? The decisions made here will set precedents for generations to come, influencing how disputes are resolved far beyond these waters. The world cannot afford to look away. The choices made in the West Philippine Sea will ripple across continents, affecting peace, prosperity, and the balance of power for years to come. Every nation, whether near or far, has a stake in what happens next. The next wave of change is coming, and its impact will be felt far beyond these contested waters. The world must watch, and the world must care, for the future of the West Philippine Sea is, in many ways, the future of us all.